First video of the channel. Welcome. We got some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplay in the back, filmed on Plutonium in PC. Well, this is my start of a series where I want to document my journey creating remote businesses from scratch. I think it's clear to everyone that the tech job market is quite bad, to say the least, and I apologize for any students in college trying to get into a software engineering position, or even even like an IT position, help desk. Every company I know is laying off people. I myself, being employed for fun, I just submitted a few applications and didn't hear back. And of course, you hear on almost everywhere on the internet, and surely in your class, of how many people send out hundreds of applications, if not thousands, just to hear back on none of them. And some people even get to the final stage of an interview just to be rejected, and wasting a whole bunch of time. The goal of the series is to create a sustainable business rather than get rich quick scheme, and at the very worst, provide a learning opportunity or a personal project that might make a buck or two. Surely mistakes will be made inevitably. I've never actually sold a product or started my own company that actually made revenue. I mean, tried starting out YouTube before, didn't make a dime, but here I go. A little background about myself. I'm a mid-20s senior software developer, and I have been living the digital nomad lifestyle for the past 3 years. By living in a cheaper country, I have effectively doubled, to quadruple my standard of living when you take into consideration rent, food, health, and of course, socialization. Because of being able to save so much money, I've been able to invest a significant amount of my paycheck, and I'm quite well on track to not being destroyed by any type of layoff in the future. Clearly, the job market is not going in the good direction, and I don't think it will turn around anytime soon, given that AI tools like Claude and ChatGPT are always improving, and companies are outsourcing all of their employees to India and the Philippines. Now it's kind of funny. Before, they used to offshore it to Spain and Western Europe, but I'm learning that they don't even go to Eastern Europe anymore. They quite literally just go to the cheapest country they can, and build out an entire headquarters in Hyderabad, India, or whatever, or Bangalore. Now, I think the future, you have to take a playbook out of the big corporations where you're going to offshore a lot of your workforce. So you should actually offshore yourself. You develop a business that hopefully works in, let's say, North America or Western Europe, and you simply go F off and live in a cheaper country so you can take advantage of exactly what the big corporation is doing. So you might ask, how can I do that? Right? Because generally, when you are working on a business, you literally have to be in that physical country. Let's say I'm selling mulch or woodworking. There's no way I can do that remotely unless you scale it up such the fact that you have employees doing it for you. But that takes a good amount of time, and that is not anything related to software engineering. So the series, I plan to show you, and try for myself at least the first time, how you can actually sell software support to small businesses that do not use any type of tech, and that stand to gain of doubling their income by implementing a simple tech stack and trying to take a small commission out of it. So I have about a list of 5 steps of how I'm going to do it. The first one being identifying people and businesses that are ran the old-fashioned way. So that means hey, I have a cleaner, right? And she doesn't have a website, the only way I can book a cleaning with her is to text her or call her. And it's quite hard, and there's no standard pricing, and it actually takes multiple texts to reach that person. So that is exactly the situation that I'm going to try to build a business for, because I have a cleaner. She has expanded her business well beyond herself. She has I think 5 to 10 employees, and she manages, I think, up to maybe 15 cleanings per day, all in her mind and on WhatsApp. And oftentimes I quite literally cannot even manage to book anything. She charges a very low rate, and I believe that as a customer, I am willing to pay 5, 10, 20, even double the price just to make my life easier and book instantly rather than having to text and call upwards of 3 to 5 times. So my big question to myself is hey, how can I double the company's revenue? How can I use my technical skills? And how can we do it as cost effective as possible? So that goes to step number 2, where I'm be looking for open source software to help tackle the problem. Now, I assume many of you have not been in the industry, but generally, every company will use open source software to a point where they glue it together, sell it as a big product to their client. So I've been using Claude to help me find things on GitHub and other products and trying to glue them together. So for my start, I'm going to take an appointment booking software, tie it in with a real customized React front end, so I can show what services we're going to offer, what the price is, and also gluing it to Stripe payments and some bookkeeping. So effectively, I'm taking out a whole bunch of open source software, combining it all, gluing it together, and going to sell it as support. Now, generally, I don't think a mom and pop cleaning business will have enough money to warrant market rate consultations, which is about, say, 50 to 100 an hour. And this business I've been working with, they've been doing it for 2 to 3 years now. And if they haven't done it yet, gone on a different booking website, they probably don't have the technical talent or the time to actually do it themselves. So the business model that I'm pitching is okay, let's get 5 to 10% of the revenue through the booking platform, while also raising the price 5 to 10, maybe 20%, just for the ease of use. So effectively, the software will be free for the cleaner's company, and I get to warrant a commission from it. So step number 3, building a prototype. Now, I'm not sure if the audience knows too much on the technical side, but generally you want to develop everything on Linux. Windows is kind of not fun, even with WSL too. Or you can do Mac. So I take a Rocky Linux VM, put Docker, and gonna glue it all together. And of course, you can use things like Claude Code to help you. But this is the experience I have, and maybe in your CS course you have some Docker experience and you know how to connect, let's say, a REST API to the front end. Okay, well, step number 4, trying to optimize cost. So there are a few different cloud providers out there, like AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure. Google Cloud is the only one that offers a permanently free VM. But it's quite weak. It's you share a quarter CPU core and 1 gigabyte of memory, and 30 gigs in a HDD. But you can do some magic there. You can add a swap file and some technical stuff that I might make a video in the future for it. But effectively, I have a server running out there for free. So quite literally, if I make $1 from this entire endeavor. Like, and that's an infinite profit. Of course, that's not considering time, but the goal of, say, charging 5%, I'll get like 200 to 300 starting. So I take $0 and I derive $300 a month from it. Yeah, that's a pretty big upside. So hopefully my next video title, I can change it from 0 to 1 to 300 to like 1,000. So after you optimize the cost of your bottom line, I'm trying to figure out a pricing model. Now, I have never worked in software sales before. I've only been, the little code monkey or infrastructure dude. And I'm figuring out from Claude at least what is a fair rate. And they say 10 to 20% for custom software. If I can double the revenue, is quite fair. But given that this is my case study, I wanted to just do a 5% flat rate. And effectively, it won't cost anything for the client because it'll be passed on to the customer. And me being a customer, I would definitely pay 5%, if not more, just to be able to actually book stuff. Maybe after the first year, if I can really prove it, we will raise the rate. But given that they're my first client and I'm going to be using it as a case study and documenting on YouTube, of course, I might just keep it low. I can see step number 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 6. Well, I am going to present a demo to the client. I actually have a lot of the code built. Probably need one more week to polish it up, and I have already scheduled the demo. So be sure to stay along if you want to get that update. I promise you it'll be a fun series, and hopefully it'll inspire many of you to try to launch something on your own instead of spending all day doing a coding interview just to be not even replied to, let alone accepted. Yeah. Well, let you guys know. In conclusion, stick around if you want to follow the journey of starting a remote business from pure scratch and how we can use that money to optimize your living by living in a much cheaper country. Also investment topics and other financial tips about being a digital nomad / expat. And other financial experiments I plan on, like what's the safe withdrawal rate in FIRE, and different type of investment strategies that I've been working on that have delivered pretty good returns. Big shout out to BizPass here on YouTube. He did the consultation call, found out a lot of stuff about how I can make my content and what it's like to be a business owner. So I bounced back what type of percentages and what type of value proposition I could earn or deliver on. And yeah, that's how we got to this one take video. Other shout out to Wylearn here on YouTube. He also inspired me to make this type of content. Yeah, be sure to subscribe if you want to follow along. Gonna discuss like finance and digital nomad type of content all over classic Call of Duty gameplay, Black Ops 2 in 2025. All right, bye.